Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Chicken Chat. It's been a while. I am so excited to be here today with one of our newest members of the MHYT team. Everybody say hi to Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hi guys.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here today. We're gonna talk all about something that's happening right now.
Oh yeah, super excited to be here today.
Awesome. I was looking outside and the trees are changing colors.
Finally.
And I know, right?
I
Exactly.
know.
Although it's pretty warm. I don't know about for you,
Mhm.
but it's like fall started a couple days ago. It's still pretty warm here. But
Yeah.
you know what else I've noticed? There are feathers everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes. So that only means one thing. It's the fall molt. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the fall molt. I know, right? Scary things in the coop.
Oh
Halloween's
yeah.
around the corner, but that's the scary things in the coop, finding a bunch of feathers. So we're going to talk a little bit about the fall molt today and how to help our birds through that process.
Absolutely. So for any of you guys who don't know what molting is or are novice chicken owners, I know I didn't when I started having chickens and scared me. But it's basically when, when your hair starts to shed in the winter, chickens do that as well. So you're going to see your chickens be a little bit more shaggy. They're going to look a little crazy for a few weeks. I know mine always look a little crazy, Jess. I don't know about you,
Oh, yeah.
but it's super natural. Don't worry, they're not sick. There are some things to look out for, but as long as you're supporting your chickens by boosting the protein, making sure they're eating well, you should be fine. You're just going to have some really crazy looking birds for a while there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we have silkies. I have lots of silkies. So it's like,
Oh,
it's definitely it's pretty scary in there right now.
absolutely. We have
So,
Javas, so they look a little
oh,
freaky right
oh,
now.
wow. Oh, I bet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So you talked about the feathers missing. What are some of the other signs that we know our birds are molting?
Absolutely. So they're going to start laying a little less in the wintertime. So when as the light starts to shorten, I mean, we all do it. We're a little bit less productive in the winter. Of course, our chickens
Right.
are going to do the same. So you're going to see a little bit of a downgrade in your production. You're going to see they're just getting a little patchy. You can see they're under fluff. Mine get a little bit sluggish sometimes, but that's not unheard of with shorter days. So that's kind of what you're going to want to look out for to see your chickens are molting.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And you're right. There's kind of like that fine line. Like you'll notice that your birds may be a little bit more. I kind of think of them being more lazy instead of,
Yeah.
yeah, they just kind of like to chill out on the roost. And it's
Hmm.
a lot of work. It's a lot of work for our birds as they're trying to
Absolutely.
grow those feathers. So they're like, hey, let us do our work
Yes.
and get those feathers growing. And you mentioned that molting, it really isn't a sign of illness if it's happening at certain times of the year.
Absolutely.
So, right. So we're seeing that the molt in the fall. So if you're seeing your birds losing their feathers, you're seeing the less eggs. They may
Hmm.
be spending a little bit more time resting. It's probably the fall molt. If
Absolutely.
they're losing feathers at times that they shouldn't be losing feathers, then
Then
you're going to
there's
want to
some
go.
issues.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
wanna take a look at that chicken health handbook. Oh my goodness, that is
Oh,
such a great
100%.
book.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, and what about molting? Do the chickens all molt at once, or what is your experience with those?
In my experience, there's never a set schedule, which is always frustrating when you're trying to take pictures of your birds because you'll have one in the background that just looks great. And then you'll have
Mhm.
one that's sitting right in front of you being super like picturesque and beautiful and serene. And it's got like half its wing molted, like half its like head molted. It looks like a zombie from The Walking Dead. So I think it really, and I'm not a veterinarian, so I don't know, but I
Right,
think it really depends on the breed, and
right.
depends on the light in your area and when it gets a little bit more cooler. I know my Javas right now are just kind of like easing into it. They're doing a very graceful molt right now, but
Right.
I'm sure they're going to look insane in the next like week.
Yeah, it could be for sure.
Oh yeah.
And really, our birds are gonna molt in the fall, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll see in the spring. We'll see it
Yes.
again in the spring. They're
Oh
getting
yes.
just like they're getting ready for winter. They got to get ready for
Mm-hmm.
summer, so they'll do it. In the spring as well. And then if you
Absolutely.
have young birds, so I added birds this year because I have terrible chicken math. And you're going to notice with those young ones, like you mentioned, they're going to molt at some pretty interesting times because they're going to
Oh yeah.
molt through the teenager years as they're getting bigger. So, let's talk a little bit about supporting our flock during the molt.
Absolutely.
So, you mentioned the high protein, which is
Yes.
such a good thing for your flock. I like to give my birds, they love mealworms. They go crazy for
Same.
those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. Scrambled eggs. That's another
That is
really
the
good one.
weirdest thing, but yes, 100%.
Yes. Oh, they can like sniff it a mile away. They know you're
Oh
bringing them
yes.
scrambled eggs.
Mm-hmm.
The black soldier fly larva, that's something we just recently started offering it to them. And you can,
Wow.
it comes just like the mealworms do in the bag. And they absolutely love that. So
Wow.
just
I'll have to
really
try
upping
that.
that protein. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And there's even feeds out there that have the higher protein too. And you can kind of incorporate that into their diet and just help them, building feathers, growing feathers, it's a lot of work. So
Absolutely.
we got to help them as much as we can. So we talk about the protein and helping them because the feather growing those feathers is a lot of work. And then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing we want to do is we want to minimize stress. So no chicken cuddles
Sadly,
during
as much as
the
you
time.
so want to, because they look so sad.
Yeah, give them a good hug. Yeah, we definitely don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
doing that because of those pin feathers that are coming through. It can actually
Yeah.
make it sore if you're picking them. So we definitely don't want to do that. And you also don't want to do any big coop changes or big routine changes when
Yeah.
your flock is going through the molt. So, if you're going to remodel your coop, do it in between molts. Try not to do it
Yes.
when your flock is going through the molt. And also just predator control, like making sure that your coop is nice and protected. And
Absolutely.
that, it's the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, I saw a bear the other day for the first time
That's
on the property.
terrifying.
We have never had that before. So it's been an interesting fall already. It just started
The
too.
most I get is
Um,
raccoons.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just keeping our flock nice and safe and stress free, even though I'm probably over here stressing out. They have no problems. Another thing that you want to be sure of is you can add some extra bedding in there, to kind of help them rest while they're growing
Absolutely.
those feathers back. And lastly, keep your chicken math in check. So really watch how many birds you have compared to the size of coop you have so you don't have pecking. You don't want to encourage
Absolutely.
that type of behavior. They're low on protein. They may be a little agitated. We want to
Yep.
make sure everybody has enough space to go off in their little chicken corners
Yeah. Because
and
your
grow.
ladies and gentlemen are going to be stressed. They're going to,
Yeah.
and I know when I'm stressed, I lash out. So when they see
Right.
any sort of like weakness, they're going to latch onto it. So introducing chicks is probably not the best time to do it right
Right.
now.
That's a good tip. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. That is a great tip. That goes with keeping their routine. Now is not a good
Mm-hmm.
time to transition new birds. I
Yes.
love that. All
Yes.
right. So we talked a little bit about the molt
Mm-hmm.
and it's fall. So that means something's
Got
coming
to get that coop
next.
set up.
Right.
I
Exactly.
know, I
Exactly.
know I started prepping like last month on mine,
Good.
but
Yeah.
I've got to make sure that coop is well ventilated. I know it
Yeah.
sounds so weird to especially new chicken keepers to have ventilation in the winter, but your
Right.
chickens are going to get frostbite if they don't have like well ventilated air, well ventilated dry air.
Right.
So
Exactly.
a way you can do this is you can check your windows if you have windows in your coop. I had one and then I sealed it up. Check the doors, make sure that those are sealed correctly. And if you have roof vents, definitely check those. Make sure there's no debris, fallen leaves, etc., etc. Just to make sure that that air is flowing, all of that. And like Jess said, adding extra bedding can also help because you can start that deep litter process. So as you get the chicken dander, the extra chicken grossness, I'll say, it'll start to decompose throughout the winter, and it'll start getting that warmth up into your coop. We've never used heaters, and I know it's a high safety risk, so I would not use heaters. I'm too nervous for that. But the one thing I will do with heating is a heated water, because sometimes it's a little too cold to get out there. I know in Ohio it's insane sometimes in the winter. So that heated water will just save, one, your knees as you're trying to get out to the coop, and two, it will help your birds keep themselves hydrated and support them really through that, like, I'm cold, so I'm freaked out, guys, moments that they're going to have this winter.
Absolutely. Those are some really, really great tips. And it's totally agree. No heaters, no heat lamps, anything like that.
Absolutely.
I've seen one too many coops that have burnt down because of that. If you have birds that you are really concerned about, we do sell a heat mat here at Meyer Hatchery.
Absolutely.
And we'll link that in the comments below or in the description below. But that you can use that. It's safe. The birds can lean against it. I'll tell you though, I bought that because I thought all my silkies were going to need it. They didn't use it at all. Nobody used it. So
ain't that the way? Ain't that the
way? Always. So,
so
yeah, our birds are so well equipped to deal with the cold. That's one thing I've learned. I know you're in Ohio too. I think you're a little bit more south than I am. But I'm up in the snow belt. So I learned a lot about my birds in the winter.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was like just trial and go for it. And my birds, I always say they like the winter more than I do. They could care less, But yeah, such great tips. Absolutely. One other thing that I do, just to kind of in with the prep, like you mentioned, is I also keep an eye on my feeders. So you mentioned the waterers. I will make sure that my feeders are going to be set up for the winter. They're going to hold a good amount of food. Like you said, if we can't get out till the afternoon, I want to make sure they have enough. And I also want to make sure that my feeders are going to be, critters can't get in there, like little mice or anything like that. Yeah. So we want to,
because they want warmth. Yes.
Exactly. They want warmth just like everybody else does. So those are some really, really awesome tips. I know some people will start the supplemental lighting. Actually, probably wanted to start a couple weeks ago, and we'll leave a link again in the description below, a little bit more about that if you want to learn more about the supplemental lighting.
Absolutely.
But really, those are the basics. Is just make sure that coop's ready to go. Do any repairs. Again, predator proofing. I'm telling you, I still got that bear on the brain. I am super predator proofing.
You got to be careful. Yeah.
And we'll just make sure our birds are nice and happy and healthy during the winter time. So
absolutely.
For sure. So one of my we'll kind of wrap it up here. But my routine kind of when it comes to my winter prep is I'm like you. I started about a month ago. And again, I'm checking those repairs. I'm checking those feeders and waterers. I'm getting everything ready for the deep litter method. That is such an awesome method to use. It's so easy. And, and then you're going to use all of that. You're going to compost it. You're going to put it in your garden. And your beautiful tomatoes are going to grow from. Yes, they're going to grow from your compost there. So it's cool. It's that awesome kind of,
life
connection
cycle.
Or loop. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, awesome. Well, do you have anything else, Lauren? Any other suggestions? Any advice for chicken keepers during the fall going into the winter?
Really just your birds are going through it a little bit at this time. So just give them some extra love, give them some extra treats, just make sure they're supported and you're going to do fine. They are hardy and they'll figure themselves out if, God forbid, something happens. So you will do amazing if this is your first season. If this is like your 14th, 15th season, go get it done. Good for you guys.
Awesome. What is your, before we wrap it up, I want to ask you, what is your favorite? So you mentioned you have Javas. So let's think
Yes.
about thinking about some of the breeds here we have here at
Mhm.
Meyer Hatchery. What is your favorite cold hardy breed?
Ooh, so that's a little hard for me because I have so many loves, but I think my
Yeah.
one true love that I've always loved raising, and we unfortunately don't have any anymore, is the golden buffs. We've had roosters, we've had hens, and they have just always been either the sweetest things or had the best personalities. So
Yeah.
absolutely love the golden buffs.
Oh, that's such a wonderful breed. I really like that one too.
Oh,
That's a good, and it's
100%.
excellent egg layers. They're
Oh,
excellent egg
yes.
layers. So they're such a
Absolutely.
good
And they're
breed.
family friendly too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for chatting with me, and thank you
Absolutely.
everybody for joining us. Hopefully we've given you some tips when it comes to the fall molt and getting ready for winter. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below, and we'll talk again soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.